Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. Today we're going to do a little DIY and show you how we backflush our tanks, the equipment we use, how we treat our tanks after we backflush, or how we treat our tanks each time we go to a dump station before we move on to the next campground. There's a few tools you're going to need. I recommend you get them because it's kind of important. So when we're on the road 3, 4, 5 months or whatever, we will backflush our tanks at least once in a 3-month period, maybe twice. There's only 2 of us, so we don't really have to do it that often. If you have a big family you're camping with, you're going out for weeks or months at a time or whatever, yeah, you might want to do it a little more. So first thing you got to get is some nitrile gloves. Very important. You want to be as sanitary as possible. Keep your hands clean. Whatever. I always use these. They're cheap. They're throwaways, and they work great. So I have a plastic tub which I keep everything in. I have another tub with overflow stuff in it, hoses and one of those stinky slinky ladders and a couple other spare parts in case something breaks while I'm on the road. So what you're going to need, depending on the campground you go to, you need a couple slinkies. I use the Rhinos. I have 4 of these because you get to that one campground where you can't quite reach. It's too far away. Even with the electrical and the hose, always have extra because you never know what you're going to need. You don't want to be short. So I got 2 of those. I got a couple of cheaper ones that came in a kit. So I got 2 of those. I never have enough hose. And you're going to have one of these 90 degrees which fits in the pipe for the dump station. And of course your pipe connects onto this, your drain hose. Definitely going to have one of those, maybe 2 in case you break one or forget one somewhere. I have this Y. You don't really need it, but if you have a holding tank in the front or the back for your kitchen, of course you can have one in the rear for your toilet, and you can have one for your sink and your bathroom shower. So it's convenient to have this front to back and then one central line right to your dump station. But you don't need this when you're backflushing. Don't really need it. I got some extra hose again. Got tons of hose. Have another elbow in case you lose one or one breaks or whatever. Always have a spare so you're prepared. So what you're going to need to backflush is one of these devices. These you can get on Amazon for 40, 50 bucks. Maybe Walmart will have them. Camping World, some other dealerships may or may not have these. So how does this work? Pretty simple. First thing you got to do is get one of these little meters how much water goes into your tank. These are about 20 bucks. They screw right on here. This whole device comes with a valve. It's got a one-way valve. You can see that. Turn the water on, turn the water off. So you need to know how many gallons your tank holds, because if you don't, you just start doing this, you can have a big problem. So I have a 40-gallon black water holding tank. So when I put the water into the tank, if I do 45 gallons, I'm going to have a problem. It's going to be dirty water all over the inside of your camper. Nobody wants to clean up that mess. So if your tank is 40 gallons, put in 28, 30 gallons or whatever, and you're good to go. So this device right here, it measures how much water you're pushing into your tank. You can do this in imperial measurement or metric. So what I recommend is, first thing you do is you turn this on, you push this gray button until you find the measurement you want, either gallons per minute or whatever you're using, metric or imperial. Hold this button down, zero it out first. So you want to start with a 0. Your garden hose, not one that's used for drinking, one dedicated just to cleaning out your black tank and nothing else. Keep all that stuff separate. So this goes on to your pipe where you're going to dump. Your garden hose goes in here. The gauge is already turned on. You got your water turned on at the spigot. And what you do is you open this. Oh, sorry. You open the valve that goes to the black tank. We'll do that first. This button, this twisty right here, this valve, you turn it on. What happens is it pushes water from the hose into here and shoots it up into the black tank. The whole theory behind this is it takes all that water and whoosh, pushes everything in the tank up, loosens everything up. All the solids, all the paper, just loosens everything. You fill it up with water. I put 28, 30 gallons in there. When the meter says I have 28 or 30 gallons. Don't guess, use the meter. You turn off the water here. You lift this up, just like you would any other valve. You open it and all the water is going to come out of this hose that you have connected on here and goes into the dump station. Now this may sound disgusting, but make sure you get this clear so you can see what's going on in your tank. If this is solid color, you don't know what's going on, you don't know what's coming out, you don't know how clean your water is, you don't know how dirty it is. If it's really dirty, you're gonna flush this 3-4 times, whatever it takes. So once all the water is done, you see there's very little trickle in here. Go underneath, shut your valve off. Make sure you zero this out again. Turn the water on and just let the water rush into the tank. Just keep doing that until you get to your 20 or 30 gallons or whatever. Shut the valve off, pull that, let it dump. Watch the quality of the water. If it starts showing up really clean, then you're done. Just drain it out, shut everything off, and then you can do like mine, my black tank and my gray tank for the toilet or for the bathroom is all in one central drain. So I'll shut the black off. I'll do the same exact thing with the gray. Zero this out. Make sure that gray tank valve is open. Turn the water on and just let it do its thing. Fill it up to whatever gallons you need. I use 28 gallons. When it gets to that point, shut the water off, pull the valve, let it drain. Do that a couple times until it's clean. The gray tanks won't be as bad as the black tank, but they still need to be cleaned out. You're still going to get heavy debris that settles in there. You're going to get build up of soap, toothpaste, whatever. Same with the kitchen. Food particles. You got to clean all that stuff out. It'll just your tanks won't smell, and you'll have good clean tanks. It's just something you need to do every 3 months. Get these; they're important. Once you get one of these meters for this device, leave it on there. Don't swap this out between here, and if you're monitoring how much fresh water you're putting into your holding tank, if you're in a boondock, don't swap, because now you get cross-contamination issues. Get 2 of these, one for this and just this. Get one for filling your freshwater tank. And don't ever swap hoses or share hoses. Don't ever share these meters here. Keep them separate all the time. That's important. So we will show you what it looks like when we do these tanks. Of course, we won't show the black tank. We'll show you the gray tank, but it's the same concept. So we will do that shortly. So this device here for backflushing, the clear side is connected to the camper. Before you even start the backflush, make sure your tanks are empty first. That's kind of important. So you take this clear section, you just snap it right on here, just twist it right on, then you're good to go. You take your hose, put it on this end right here. You're going to turn the water on right here, this little blue valve, whatever color it is on your device. Water's going to flow in here. You open your valve for your black tank, just let it fill up. Watch your meter, make sure you're not putting in too much. That's important. When you get to the specific amount of gallons you think you need, I use 28 gallons. Shut this water off. Of course, your stinky slinky's already going to be attached to this. The other end will be at the dump. Just open this up, let it all come out, and just keep an eye on this clear section here so you can see how dirty your water is. If it's dirty, after it's drained, shut your valve, turn your water on, fill it back up. Just keep doing that until it comes out fairly clean. That'll give you an idea of how many times you have to do it. Once that's done, you close your black tank. My gray tank for the front of the trailer happens to be right next to the black. So you just pull the gray, turn the water on, same process. Just flush it a couple times. The grays for the shower don't really need to be flushed that many times, but you look at it, you decide. Same thing. You get to a certain amount of gallons, shut the water off, pull this, dump it, close it, repeat until it's clean. Always zero out your meter each time you dump, because if you don't, you might have a problem. So one other thing to keep in mind, don't do this at your site, because the only source of water you have is the clean water for drinking. Don't use that to backflush your tanks. It's a no-no. Go to a dump station. If the campground doesn't have a central dump station, use an app like iOverlander. Find one. They're everywhere. So hope this helps you guys out. And like I said, you should do it at least once a year, once every 3 months if you're camping full time. Clean tanks are important. So spend the time, spend the money, get the equipment, clean the tanks. It's worth it. The black tank we already flushed twice, and it's not too bad. We're going to do it 2 more times, and then we'll move over to the gray tank. So just remember, you have to empty these tanks before you start backflushing, because you want to start with an empty tank, obviously. So what I have here is the water supply. We're at the dump station, by the way. Got the water supply on. Got my meter going. Right now there's water going in here. I'm at 14 gallons. So we'll probably go to a 25, 26 gallons. Then we'll take this blue valve right here. That's the on-off for the water. Shut the water off. And we'll pull this and empty the tank. Now the tank for the valve for the black tank is right here. That's already open. You want that open when you push the water in, or it's not going to do anything. So leave that open, leave this closed. When you get to your 25 or 28 gallons or whatever you need to do, as long as you don't overfill your tank, you're good. Then you shut the water off, pull this and let it go. As the Hanks would say, let her rip. Alright, so we're at 22 gallons. So depending on the pressure at the campground or wherever you're dumping, it goes pretty quick. But I would do it at least once every 2 or 3 months, depending on the size of your family. And yeah, it needs to get done. Alright, so we're at 26 gallons. We'll shut this water off. Open up this valve. See what we got. It's not too bad. It's still loosened up a little bit of stuff. This is the 3rd time, so we'll probably do it 1 more time, and that should be good until we get home. And we'll do a final flush on all the tanks before we winterize this thing and put it away for the year. So I hope this little video helps. Definitely learn how to do it. Get the equipment to do your own tanks, unless you don't want to and you have to pay someone. That's pretty expensive. So after we go to a dump station and all our tanks are dumped, or after we backflush, whichever comes first, there's a recipe that we use to treat our tanks. We do this every single time we dump or backflush. It'll help to keep the tanks a little clean. It'll definitely help with the odor. And some of the chemical we use will definitely help with breaking down everything that's in the tank. It doesn't matter what it is. We use this in the kitchen sink, we use it in the sink in the bathroom, and the toilet. So what you're going to need, cheap funnel, get those anywhere, a couple bucks. Measuring cup, this one goes to 16 ounce, which helps. You need a 1 gallon milk jug or a 1 gallon jug, doesn't matter what you use. We have this Calgon bath beads. It says this is called. Yeah, we use lavender bath beads. You can use whatever scent you want. You're really not going to notice it much. We use Walmart's version of Pine Sol. This happens to be lavender. You can use Pine Sol if you want. You can use Walmart brand or any generic store brand. It all does the same thing. You're just not paying for the brand name. This is a cleaner. Also is a disinfectant. And the whole point of the beads is to create a detergent to help clean, and it's like an oily base, or has an oily finish to it, which makes it really slippery. The whole point of that is to coat the side of your tanks and prevent anything from sticking to the tanks or building up. It's probably not 100%, but it definitely helps. Makes a big difference. So your 1 gallon jug, I write the recipe right on the jug, and that's all this jug is for, so I know exactly what I need. So I take 8 ounces of Calgon, this stuff, pour it in here. I use the funnel to dump it in there, and that's it, 8 ounces. This stuff, Pine Sol, whatever brand you use, I use 40 ounces. I have it written right on here, 40 ounces. Measure out your measurements, 40 ounces, you're done. Don't need that, don't need any of this. All done with that stuff. Fill this with water 3/4 of the way, cap it, shake it so everything's dissolved. Let it sit for a little while until the foam is gone, fill it up again. I usually fill about almost the whole thing. Then what you do is you take 1/3 of this, you put it in your kitchen sink, 1/3 of the what's left over, throw it in your bathroom sink and or shower, and the rest of it goes in the toilet for the black tank. Then I pour in probably 3, 4, 5 gallons in each tank. So I have 2 holding tanks. I got the 2 grays and a black. So put 5 gallons in each, and that's all you have to do with that. This container you're still going to need. Then I use this treatment. This is TST. You can get it at Walmart. You can use whatever brand you like. Doesn't matter. I'm not a chemist, so I don't know if these things really do work. But I'll take 2 of these pods, put it in here, hot water, shake it up, and I'll put that in the kitchen sink. Kitchen sink always seems to have a pretty nasty odor, just from food particles and grease and whatever else you're washing down there. And I'll do the same thing for a toilet. 2 of these pods, mix it with some hot water, make sure it's dissolved 100%, throw it in the toilet, flush it down, give it a little extra water, you're done. 1 pod for the bathroom sink. That's all you really need for that. Same deal. Mix it up, dump it, you're done. And that's it. You do that every time you backflush, or every time you're done at a campsite and you're ready to go to a dump station, or if you have a dump spot on your site, dump your tanks, treat them, be on the road. You don't have to worry about it until the next time. So that's how we do it. I've been doing it for quite a while. It works fine. I'll see if I can find the who gets credit for that recipe, and I'll post his name. It's a company who does nothing but backflushes for RVs. They usually go around to different campgrounds in different states. For a small fee, they'll take care of it for you. I'll post his name and his website. He gets credit for the recipe. I just took it off the internet and used it, and worked great. We had no problems. So if you see us on the road, say hi. Thanks again for joining us. We appreciate you. Happy camping.